Arguably the strongest altcoin in the entire crypto market right now is XRP. I want to talk to you guys about a couple big stories for XRP. One, the possibility of a $20 XRP. Is that something we can see in the rest of this bull market? Maybe. And I want to talk about why. And I also want to discuss this $50 million fine that is potentially going to have to be paid by Ripple versus the SEC, which on the face of it might sound like a bad thing, which might eliminate your thought of anything above $10 for XRP. But when you really look at it, it is actually kind of a victory for the Ripple team, for all XRP holders. Let's talk a little bit about it in this video and the potential for XRP in what I believe is going to be still a beautiful bull market. Yes, we have some volatility in the short term, which has been tremendous for trading. If you've been paying attention to the content, I have been shorting XRP down to around that $2 level. We're seeing an overall bounce in the market. I want to discuss it with you and what comes next here for crypto and the specific stories for XRP today. So welcome back, guys. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. Please remember, nothing here is financial advice, but we do love crypto. We're going to keep the content coming. Right now, still the third largest crypto by market cap, up a whopping 8.46% today. If you look at some of the top gainers, you're not going to see it at necessarily the number one spot, but you are going to see it towards kind of the top of the list, the 17th best performing token on the day in the top 100. Not a bad place for XRP to be. And sitting at $125 billion market cap, the strength on XRP on this dip has been incredible. If you really look at where XRP is compared to where it was at its highs back in December, you'll see that right now, yes, it is at a discount, and yes, it's down 35%. But if you look at that versus like even Dogecoin, which has been incredibly strong for a meme, that's down 68%. You look at a variety of other coins, you could look at CRO. This one's down tremendously from its highs as well. Again, over 50%. In fact, if you look at our total market cap right now, you'll see that our total market cap right now is down 28%. And so XRP is basically tracking the total market cap. So to figure out where XRP goes next, I want to take a look at total market cap. So let's talk a little bit about that. And I'm going to get to the story about this $50 million fine and the settlement between Ripple and the SEC here in a second. But looking at the immediate price action for XRP, we did have this level drawn here, and we got a beautiful bounce off of this like 162. I was calling for like 158, $1.60 as a potential bounce level for XRP. I have been acknowledging the possibility of XRP coming back down to $1, and that only occurs, guys, in my worst case scenario, if Bitcoin slips down to like 65K or even worse, down to like $52,000. Is it possible? It is. Tariffs uncertainty was certainly heading us in that direction. Recently, we had some relief with the 90-day tariff pause. Still have base tariffs, still have the problems with China and those high tariffs with China. So we're not totally out of the woods yet, but we are seeing, looking at the total market cap, a very nice move that I was exploring in my Dogecoin video earlier today. And the same is true for XRP. If we see this total market cap head above this $2.62 trillion level, which is our April 2024 highs, get a weekly candle close above it, not at it, not below it, we can see XRP continue to the upside. Where could it go to? Easily could come back up to the $2.40 level, maybe even to $2.50 or 60 cents. Again, it's going to have a hard time getting back to these highs until a few things happen. So what needs to happen for XRP to get back to the highs and then start moving towards, yes, a $20 price level, which sounds ridiculous, but bear with me, guys. Looking at the big story of the day, Ripple considers paying a $50 million penalty in the XRP in XRP amid the SEC case resolution talks. And so there's a settlement agreed upon between Ripple and the SEC. They know they're going to end this thing. They're still figuring out the details of what the terms are going to be. Is it going to be 50 million? Is it going to be 200 million? Well, CEO Brad Garlinghouse is revealing that, hey, they're willing to pay $50 million. What's $50 million amongst friends, right? These guys have a lot of money. $50 million on a $124 billion market cap is kind of a drop in the bucket for this. It's not a total drop in the bucket, but for a big company like Ripple, it's a drop in the bucket compared to, the 200 million or 300 million that was maybe going to have to be paid. So this sounds bad, right? That's a lot of money, but in reality, if they can just pay this penalty and get the case over with, we got another bullish catalyst for XRP that's lingering, and it is Paul Atkins, the new head of the SEC, who's going to be in office officially. He was voted as and approved by the Senate, but now he's actually going to be put in office probably in the next week. What we might see is some XRP ETFs come through. We might see this lawsuit get resolved lickety split. These are the catalysts that easily drive us back up to $2.50. Honestly, we don't even need this to resolve to shoot back up to $2.50 for XRP. I think that if Bitcoin gets a boost and our total market cap gets a boost and we see Bitcoin back at like 90K or something like that, then we could easily see XRP back up to $2.50 level. Let's talk about 20 bucks. Well, the only way we even have a chance to get to $20 in this bull market is if this lawsuit actually truly comes to an end, and it will. I think that a $10 price for Ripple is actually reasonable in this bull market. I think that it's reasonable, honestly, at this point in time to see XRP flip Ethereum. And if XRP did flip Ethereum, you're actually already looking, if we just take a look at CoinMarketCap, and we see Ethereum's market cap's at 200 billion, XRP's at 125 billion. If you see XRP flip Ethereum, you're already talking about basically a $4 XRP at that point. And I think Ethereum and XRP are going to go a lot higher if Bitcoin does what it's supposed to do and goes to $150,000 to $250,000 or higher. The reason XRP has such high price potential, in my opinion, is because there's so many specific use cases for XRP as cross-border payments between banks. Specifically, I've talked about this one a lot, the IRS repayments for tax refunds in XRP tokens. There are even meme coins being traded on XRP, and I know that it continues to increase in popularity. I think it's a great coin for trading, and if you guys want to trade, you could sign up for Blowfin, and I think if you deposit $100, you get $10 in XRP for free. It's at least for the first 100 folks that sign up. That's been going on for a while, so if you haven't taken advantage of that, that's there for you. In the short term, am I looking at like longs or shorts for XRP? Right now, with a little bit of hesitancy, I'm not seeing any clear as day trades right now for XRP. I need to kind of see how this weekly candle plays out for total market cap to decide if we're sitting at support or if we're sitting at resistance or kind of where we're at. And so I don't really have any short-term calls for trades. It's a dicey moment, especially because of the tariffs. If all of a sudden we see the tariffs resolved and we see Paul Atkins become the head of the SEC, we see the XRP law, the Ripple lawsuit, and they pay a $50 million penalty, the XRP ETF is approved, $10 is certainly on the table. And in my most bullish case scenario, I could envision a world where XRP actually does achieve $20. Maybe not in this bull market. I think that is a stretch for this bull market, quite honestly. But in the future, if XRP becomes what it's supposed to be, one day it should hit $20, especially if it gets the rate of adoption that they hope to achieve. When we saw the biggest boom for crypto back in December of 2024, XRP was the #1 coin on everybody's tongue. Somebody in my golf league just this Thursday was like, hey, there's this token I wanted to ask you about, XRP. Everybody's talking about XRP right now. Everybody wants a piece of the action for XRP. And what I told him is like, hey, if you can get XRP below $2, you're getting a good discount. And if you ever get it below $1, what an insane discount. Gobble it up under $1. But honestly, I'd be gobbling it up under $2 as well. I think we have accumulation zones right now. My worst case scenario for Bitcoin's down to 65K. I just don't really expect us to really get a lot lower than that. We got to keep an eye on it. We got to keep an eye on the news and the macroeconomic picture. That's all I got in this one, guys. I'm Crypto Kip. This is a Crypto Report. Smash the like, subscribe to the channel, DCA HODL. And of course, I'll see you in the next one, guys. I got 2 videos for you right here if you want to check them out. Till next time, peace.